Hey guys, this is Liam Pete. I am the founder of the VMAX Market Whisperer Trade Signal Indicator, and I was just looking over some of our old content because right now, as we speak, this is a very private, very select few have access to this tool, but I have intention here in this very short future. Here in the future of making this a little more accessible. Let me I'm gonna scroll down a little bit here. Here we go. This was July 3rd 2024. Today is May 22nd 2025. Let me just clarify that for you. See, no, I'm sorry, May. I'm sorry. It's It's March 25th. I got my M's confused there. So, but listen, don't let that worry you. But what I want to do is I want to point out that in this video, which I will link to at the end of the video that you're watching now, I will link to this video, and we're at about the, I don't know, maybe 12-13 minute mark. It gets really interesting as far as what's happening now. Okay. So basically what I'm saying here, in fact, let's just see if we can, let's just play it and see what it says. 40 at the top, 22, 26 at the bottom. Well, let's look at that. 22.97. That's this one right here. Okay. If you want to be aware for that pullback to at least that level in the not too distant future. All right, so that's good enough. 52.97. We were thinking about coming back to this level here, and this would have been this was July the 3rd. So let's see what that chart ended up looking like. Right, come back a year later. Here's where we were. April, July, bam, there we were. Right, we came right down here, 51.80. Okay, so this was where we were in. Watch here. See, I'm gonna highlight that area right there. Okay, and then we're going to look at that same area right there. Okay, so we began this run up, and then what do you know, just like I mentioned, what, 9 months ago, we're probably going to revisit, and sure enough, we revisited. Just, I said not too near future, right? So we hit right here. It took a couple weeks, but we got there. All right. The other thing that, if you look at the beginning of this video, I was talking about the cyclical nature and highs and lows and how to anticipate pullbacks and how to avoid FOMOing out, etc., etc. And as you'll see, last July, I was discussing the same arrows. I left this still on there, right? That arrow is in that video, just right there. We get to a certain point, and then we pull back, and then we play all around, and we go up, and then we pull back, and then we go up again, and then we pull back, and then we play around for a little bit, and then we get a direction. Knowing that direction and being able to just be like, yeah, you know what? Next year, I think that this is what's going to happen. And knowing with some probability that you can go back and see what that video was. And the thing is, what's nice about this, just for, more or less for me, right? This video was published. You've got a published date, right? So, and this is, by the way, this is the E-mini. which I don't really mess with the E-mini all that much these days, mostly in the currency market. I do like some oil. Not really a big fan of crypto. They say volatility is your friend. You really have to think about who they're talking to. Okay. So I'll just leave it at that. But listen, if you want to understand how this system works and how you can become acclimated to the markets so that you can feel more confident in your trading. And listen, trading isn't an overnight thing. I don't care what anybody tells you. Trading is not an overnight thing. Now there may be certain anomalies to that. You know, if you have no vagus nerve, okay, if you have an endless amount of capital, if you have no buyer's remorse, if you have no fear, no anxiety, no financial pressure, and you manage to take all those elements, you don't have any health-related issues, your family is completely stable or non-existent, but you somehow can manage to handle the emotional impact of a non-existent family. If the world economy stays stable, if political atmosphere stays stable, if your personal relationships don't have any ups or downs, then yeah, if you put all those conglomerations together and you get a good system, with a good, honest mentor, you probably could fast track. You could probably fast track. We're going to try to give you what elements of that we have impact on, right? Okay. So be ready to actually take this seriously, not as the next shiny object, but something that you learn so that a year from now you're still here and you can literally have your own video series of saying, hey, I did this, I did that, you know what I'm saying? And look at this, and look what I think. And then being willing to then put that on the record so that it can be revisited. And so people can be like, yeah, that guy or gal knows or doesn't know what they're talking about. Obviously there's some unpredictability in the markets. And so there are black swan events. And so I'm not saying that if a person was ever wrong, that makes them always wrong. Okay. And I'm not saying that a person who was ever right is always right, but you have to have a system. And, this little brief video here, I think demonstrates pretty well that the VMAX Market Whisperer is that system. Talk to you soon.